Now we shall move towards the second scientific session, which is on World Glaucoma Day by Dr. Mansi Krishnani, Assistant Professor at Chirayu Medical College and Hospital. Madam had completed her MBBS from Gandhi Medical College, Bhopal in the year 2000 and her MS from Shamlan Medical College, Rewa in the year 2004. She has done fellowship in Vitro-Retina in 2013 from Shankara Nethralaya, Chennai. She has long 18 years of experience and has conducted hundreds of surgeries. At present, she works as assistant professor at Chirayu Medical College and Hospital, Bhopal. I now request Madam to kindly begin the session.
Good morning, everyone. Share. Slides are visible?
Yes, madam, it's visible.
Okay. Good morning. This year we have a World Glaucoma Week from 7 to 13 March with a slogan that world is bright, save your sight. And this is a unique initiative in the form of the webinar. Next. Usually we face many challenges in the detection of glaucoma, like late presentation, lack of awareness, delay in referral, lack of expertise, poor compliance with medical treatment, lack of equipments, and high cost of drugs. And these are the issues that needs to be addressed. For this, World Glaucoma Week is a global initiative of the World Glaucoma Association in order to raise awareness on glaucoma. Through a series of engaging worldwide activities for patients, eye care providers, health officials, and the general public are invited to contribute to sight preservation. The main objective of this week is to eliminate glaucoma blindness by motivating people to have regular eye checkups, to detect glaucoma as early as possible, offer free testing for glaucoma, offer free anti-glaucoma drops. And by organizing imaginative, publicly attractive awareness projects such as pamphlets, posters, screening stations, talks, symposium, and all have their value. As they do marches with banners and illuminating buildings in green, glaucoma logos, and distribute these green ribbons. So before understanding the glaucoma, so we must go into detail about the anatomy. So glaucoma is considered as the major cause of blindness after cataract worldwide. In this, the damage is irreversible. It is often asymptomatic in the early stages. Therefore, it is referred as the silent thief of sight. And it is most prevalent among men than women. Incidence increases with the age, and therefore early detection and effective treatment are necessary to prevent loss of vision. In 2013, the number of people with glaucoma worldwide was estimated to be 64.3 million, increasing to 76 million in 2020, and 111.8 million by the year 2040. And approximately 10% of them are estimated to be blind from glaucoma. And therefore, it is the second cause of blindness after the cataract. And before understanding, we must know the normal human eye. Eyes are the main organ of vision and a sense organ too. Eyes have two segments, anterior segment and the posterior segment. Anterior segment have two chambers, anterior chamber and the posterior chamber. And the optic nerve is the main is the bundle of nerve fibers. It is responsible for transmitting the images to the brain. And retina is the sensitive tissue of the eye, which is connected to the brain via the optic nerve as shown in this diagram. And constant high pressure can damage the optic nerve, which results in permanent loss of vision. first we should understand how the aqueous is produced and the flow of the aqueous humor. It is derived from the plasma and produced from the ciliary processes at the base of the iris, which is shown by the pink color at the base of the iris. That is the ciliary body that produces the aqueous humor, and then it passes to the posterior chamber, and then around the iris to the anterior chamber through the pupil. From the anterior chamber, it drains into the Schlemm's canal via the trabecular meshwork, and then via the trabecular meshwork, or it goes back into the ciliary process towards the venous circulation. Role of aqueous humor: it circulates in the eye and nourishes the eye tissues. And if there is excess production or deficient drainage, that can result in increase the amount of aqueous humor, resulting in a high intraocular pressure. So secreted by this ciliary body, then via the trabecular or the uveoscleral pathway, it is drained out of the eye and maintains the normal pressure. Normal fluid circulates, maintains the normal pressure, and normal pressure is 10 to 21 mmHg. So intraocular pressure depends on the pressure of the eye. It depends on the balance between the production and the removal of the aqueous humor. Aqueous production rate is 2 microliter per minute, and the outflow is 0.22 microliter per minute per mm of Hg. And it is important to remember that glaucoma can happen even if the IOP is normal. That is called the normal tension glaucoma. And so glaucoma is basically a group of eye conditions that damage the optic nerve, which is essential for good vision. And damage is caused by the abnormally high pressure within the eye. This is the normal eye, normal secretion and the normal drainage of the aqueous humor, and that is behind it is the optic nerve, which is a circle that is shown. This is the normal. There is no damage to the optic nerve. And what happens in glaucoma? This is due to high pressure, as shown by the arrows, that causes the mechanical damage to the optic nerve, which is shown at the back. So we know that glaucoma disease can't be cured, it can only be controlled. So glaucoma can be asymptomatic. Initially, there could be no symptoms of glaucoma. That's why sometimes it goes unnoticed. Initially, there could be only peripheral vision, which may get unnoticed. And sometimes patient complains of redness, halos around the eyes, color halos around the eyes, nausea, vomiting, severe headache, and pain. These are the pictures showing how the colored halos looks around the suppose bulb, and if there is frequent changes in the glasses, so person must consult the doctor as early as possible. Glaucoma can cause permanent loss of vision if left untreated. Initially, the side vision fails. This is the picture they are showing normal vision. Everything is clear. Side vision is also clear. In early glaucoma, the side vision fails, and then as the glaucoma advanced, narrowing of the vision, and only things placed straight in front of the eyes are visible. This is called the tunnel vision. So IOP is determined by the rate of the aqueous production and its outflow. There are various factors affecting the intraocular pressure. And there are like age, sex, race, heredity, diurnal variations, blood pressure, obesity, drugs, exercise, hormones, refractive error, eye movements, inflammation, surgery. And this is the normal cause of glaucoma. If there is pressure buildup of aqueous humor fluid, if there is formation is more, either formation of the fluid is more or drain out very less, that results in glaucoma. There are various theories considered: mechanical compression of the axons or ischemia to the axons. There are these are the risk factors. If there is a family history of glaucoma, if the age is more than 40, very refractive errors, if any long-term use of steroids, if the patient has hypertension, diabetes, any heart problems, eye injuries, and smoking, these are the various risk factors. And clinical features, as I already told, usually they are asymptomatic at the early stage or may complain of headache, eye ache, difficulty in reading and close work, delayed dark adaptation, decreased visual acuity. There are various types of glaucomas. Can be congenital glaucoma, primary glaucoma, and secondary glaucoma. Primary glaucoma is due to rise in intraocular pressure, which can be open angle or angle closure. If it is angle is open, that the draining is correct, and in angle closure, the fluid is not draining at all. So that accumulates inside the eye. So primary open angle glaucoma has adult onset and open angle of normal appearance, most prevalent type of glaucoma. So patient's history is of prime importance. Patient's medical history, any use of corticosteroids, family history, because open angle glaucoma runs has a genetic basis, and background important to determine the presence of risk factors. Primary open angle is called as the silent killer. It occurs in age more than 40, usually no symptoms, and diagnosed on routine eye examination. This is a primary angle closure glaucoma. In primary open angle glaucoma, the fluid is flowing, secreting from the ciliary body and draining out. But in angle closure, the angle is closed, fluid is secreting from the ciliary body shown by the pink, but it is not draining out. So fluid accumulates behind the iris and results in shallow AC and increase in IOP. So primary angle closure glaucoma, in this there is high pressure. Because of increase in pressure, eyes are congested. There is sudden decrease in vision. In this, there is one-sided, patient complains of one-sided headache. This is potentially vision threatening and present to the doctor early. Open angle glaucoma, they usually present late, but these patients, angle closure glaucoma, they present to the doctor early because of pain. And congenital glaucomas, they are because of the developmental anomaly of the angle of the anterior chamber. Can be classified as true congenital, say present since birth, or infantile, present up to the 3 years of age, juvenile from 3 years onwards. Usually congenital glaucoma, 70% are bilateral. In congenital glaucomas, we have clinical features like corneal edema, patient complaints of watering, photophobia, blepharospasm. This is a classic triad. And as we see this baby, the corneal diameter is bigger. So, and we see the herb stria on the cornea. These are the depositions of refractile material at the level of the Descemet's membrane. And when we measure the intraocular pressure, it is usually high. And these lines are the herb stria. And secondary glaucomas. Secondary glaucomas are due to certain medicines like steroids, diabetes, trauma to eye, and injury to eye, and some eye infections. As shown in this diagram, the first one is there is an blood is there inferiorly, and that is because of the trauma. And in the lower diagrams, in the that lower first one is showing that the cornea is hazy. This is because of the endophthalmitis, means infection that can result in increase in intraocular pressure. And last one, fourth one is the there is a cataract. It is that is lens induced glaucoma. Because of the swollen lens, there is a shallow chamber and obstructing the drainage of the aqueous. So how to detect glaucoma? Can be detected only by regular examination by an optometrist or ophthalmologist. A number of tests, we are performing number of tests like visual acuity, tonometry to detect, to know about the intraocular pressure, pachymetry to know the central corneal thickness, measure of corneal diameter by calipers as in congenital glaucomas, slit lamp examination and gonioscopy to examine the angle structures, ophthalmoscopy for optic nerve evaluation, and perimetry to know the visual fields. This is the Schwartz tonometer. Various other tonometers are available like applanation tonometer, Mackay-Mark tonometer. Applanation tonometer is the gold standard, and non-contact tonometers are also available for uncooperative patients. So accurate tonometry, that is intraocular pressure determination, is the key to understand the significance of the IOP. And this is the gonioscope to look for the angle of the anterior chamber. This is the optic nerve head evaluation. Optic nerve evaluation with the 90D or 78 diopter lens on the slit lamp. And visual field testing by Humphrey field analyzer to by perimetry. This is the apparatus for charting the visual fields, and purpose is to detect the defects in the visual fields and its correlation with the damage to the optic nerve, to measure them quantitatively and to chart them as normal or abnormal. The deterioration of the patient vision is glaucoma is due to the progressive pathologic loss of retinal ganglion cells and their axons that forms the optic nerve due to raised intraocular pressure. And careful measurements of the visual function are of importance. Visual field analysis and optic nerve visualization are critical indicators used in the diagnosis and management of glaucoma. Optical coherence tomography, it is useful for the early diagnosis of the glaucoma, detect changes in the early changes in the retinal nerve fiber layer. Treatment could be medical in the form of the drops, anti-glaucoma medications, or laser or surgical. And in laser and surgical treatment, bypass the obstruction and obstruction. And patient education is of utmost importance in this. So patient should be educated on the chronic nature of the disease, irreversible damage, and value of intraocular pressure reduction. There are 5 basic steps. First, as soon as the patient comes, first establish the baseline, set the target pressure, lower the pressure, follow up the patient and modify the target pressure if needed. When we use the medical therapy, use few medications initially, and time interval between the drops should be explained to the patient. Written instructions should be given to the patient. Various anti-glaucoma medications are available like beta blockers, prostaglandin analogs, carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, hypertonic mannitol. These beta blockers, prostaglandins, and carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, they are used in open angle glaucoma. In closed angle glaucoma, we use mannitol, acetazolamide, and miotics and beta blockers. These are the drugs, they have their own site of action. Like miotic, like pilocarpine, acts on the sphincter pupillae, and beta blockers, carbonic anhydrase, they act on the ciliary body, thus reduces the aqueous secretion by the ciliary body. And these prostaglandin analogs, they increases the uveoscleral outflow, and this adrenaline, these increases the trabecular outflow. So these drugs, they act at the different levels. These are the various medications available. and patient should be instructed how to apply the drops. And second, we can plan for laser iridotomy in case of angle closure glaucoma. In this, the last diagram, it is showing there is a hole in the iris. So that bypasses the obstruction and opens the angle as shown above. And surgery can be glaucoma filtering surgeries alone can be performed, or it can be performed with cataract called combined TAB. In this trabeculectomy, this is a surgical intervention, mechanical formation of an aqueous outflow channel through the sclera and then drain into the subconjunctival space. Aqueous pools in the space, forming a sac called the blood. Glaucoma can lead to a permanent blindness. They can increase the risk of falls, injuries, and trauma. Glaucoma is associated with increased risk of cardiovascular diseases and stroke. So if ignored, it can be seriously harmful to the patient. So recommendations are routine glaucoma screening to detect the disease at early stage and prevent further loss of vision. Increase awareness through health talk and media, early referral of the patient, training and retraining of the eye care person, provision of necessary equipments, and proper maintenance of the available ones. Strict patient education on the need for the strict compliance with treatment regime. Government should subsidize the cost of glaucoma drugs. So in conclusion, we can see that glaucoma represents a major public health burden, and even though the challenges of management in developing countries are many, there is a need for concerted and integrated efforts involving all cadres of eye care practitioners, patients, institutions, and government to address this important eye disease. Nurses also have a important role in the diagnosis of glaucoma. They are the connecting link between the doctor and the patient. They must take proper history. They can diagnose pain, proper history, family history, or use of any steroid medication, history of allergy. They can establish history of onset of attacks and previous attacks, assess the patient's level of anxiety and knowledge. They can relieve the pain by administering medications, painkillers, or medications that may cause nausea and vomiting are usually avoided. Patient may be medicated with antiemetic if nausea occurs. Explain the patient that the goal of the treatment is to reduce IOP as quickly as possible. Explain the procedure to the patient. Reassure patient that with the reduction in IOP, pain and other signs and symptoms will subside. And explain the adverse effects of the medications to the patient. And assess the in chronic open angle glaucoma, if the patient comes, so they can also assess how the patient is using these drops, assess the frequency of the drop, duration, and the severity of the visual symptoms, assess the patient's knowledge of disease and disease process and anxiety about the diagnosis, and motivate the patient to participate in long-term treatment. Make sure that patient understand that although he may be asymptomatic, IOP could still be elevated, and make the patient understand, and damage to the eye could be occurring. Therefore, ongoing use of medications and follow-up are essential. Teach the patient the action, dosage, and adverse effect of all medications. Make sure adequate administration of eye drops by watching return demonstration. And discuss visual field defects with the patient and ways to compensate. Visual loss is permanent and treatment is aimed at stopping the process. Inform patient that surgery is done on outpatient basis and recovery is quick. Prolonged restrictions are not required. And alert the patient to avoid, if possible, circumstances that increase the IOP, like upper respiratory tract infections, emotional upsets, and heavy lifting. So fear related to pain and potential loss of vision. Um, Describe the procedure to the patient that the surgery will be done on an outpatient patient, and explain the patient that the vision will be blurred for the first few days after the surgery, and frequent follow-ups are necessary to check for the tonometry and to investigate properly. Check whether the patient is using eye medications as prescribed, and maintenance of regular bowel habits should be essential, and wearing a medical identification tag indicating that the patient has glaucoma. So verbalizes understanding of glaucoma as a chronic disease, demonstrates proper installation of ophthalmic medications. For patients, key points are the patient must know the intraocular pressure and the desired range. Inform the patient about the extent of the vision loss. Keep a record of eye pressure measurement and visual field test to monitor the progress. Review all medications at each visit, and ask about any side effects with those medications. Review the dosing schedule as advised by ophthalmologist, and if needed, doctor can revise the dosing schedule for the patient accordingly, and nurse should observe that instilling eye medications, that whether he's administering it properly. Eye drops are administered as prescribed. Ask your ophthalmologist to send a report to primary care physician after each appointment, and keep all follow-up appointments. Continuing glaucoma care at home, if referral to services that assist the patient in performing customary activities may be needed. The loss of peripheral vision impairs mobility. These patients needs to be referred to low vision centers and rehabilitation services. Patients who meet the criteria for legal blindness should be offered referrals to agencies that assist in obtaining federal assistance. So family must be integrated into a plan of care, and because the disease has a familial tendency, family members should be encouraged to undergo examination at least once every 2 years to detect glaucoma. So we must do regular eye examination, especially after the age of 40. Wear proper corrective glasses if patient has near or far sightedness. Exercise adequately and maintain good immunity with balanced diet and healthy lifestyle. And don't avoid eye medications or any medications without consulting the doctor. Some chemicals in these medicines may damage the eye. Avoid prolonged exposure to computer screen, TV screen, mobiles, especially from a shorter distance. And never ignore any eye discomfort or symptoms. Take vitamin-rich diet, include antioxidants, avoid coffee, chocolates. And so there are myths and facts related to glaucoma. Usually believes that it affects elderly, but anyone can develop glaucoma. It curable? No. Vision once lost cannot be recovered, and symptoms there are, and in many cases there are no symptoms initially. And to cope up with the vision loss, we can provide them low vision aids in the form of magnifying devices to enhance both distance and reading vision. These aids will not restore the sight, but they allow the people to maximize the amount of remaining vision. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The session was quite informative about anatomy of eye, etiology, pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, types, diagnosis and treatment of glaucoma, prevention of blindness and nurses' responsibility in treating glaucoma patients. Thank you, ma'am. I could not find any questions in the chat box. If anyone has any queries about previous scientific sessions, kindly post it in the chat box. There is a gentle reminder to all. We'll be sharing the feedback form link in the chat box. All the participants kindly fill the feedback form. Are the participants who fill the feedback form only will be receiving e-certificates. So kindly ensure that all the participants have filled the feedback form.